Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone's having a nice Monday morning. It was a hot weekend for us, but again, dry here in Lincoln and across much of eastern Nebraska, while parts of central and western Nebraska to deal with some stormy weather through the weekend. We'll continue to deal with some of those stormy chances as we head over the first half of this new work week with some hot and dry conditions, looking like they're going to head our way as we head towards the official start of astronomical summer later this week. So we do have weather alert day again for the day today, and likely we'll have one again for the day tomorrow for that threat for some severe weather. Again, the chance for thunderstorms here in Lincoln, I think through the balance of the day today overall pretty low, but I think as we head late tonight and certainly into the overnight hours, I think that chance for thunderstorms will increase. So a slight risk today again for Lincoln, Lancaster County, but we do actually have an enhanced risk for severe weather across parts of central and western Nebraska. Again, that means again 3 out of 5 on the kind of the threat scale. So again, numerous severe thunderstorms possible in those areas. Initially, as storms develop, there will be the potential for some large hail to go along with some damaging winds as storms initially get going, but eventually we're expecting storms to really develop into a more of a linear system that's going to sweep across the state as we head late tonight into the overnight hours. And as that happens, we'll see that threat transition from hail and wind more towards wind, heavy rain, and then maybe some smaller hail. But it looks like storms could start firing up late this afternoon into the early evening along a kind of a boundary that's draped across parts of northern and western Nebraska. But again, best chance for us here in Lincoln is likely going to be late tonight and then into the overnight hours tonight. And then we'll continue to see some storm chances even as we head into the day on Tuesday with some cooler weather as that boundary is going to shift down across parts of northern Kansas. And then, like I mentioned, looks like a pretty summery start to summer later this week as temperatures could be threatening the triple digits for some spots across the state, including here in the capital city. So we'll get to that timing and kind of break down the skycast and look at that severe weather threat in just a second. Low temperatures this morning, though, again on the mild side, mid to upper 60s and even low 70s on the board to start our work week here in the capital city at the Lincoln Airport. 69 degrees. The low across the Tempest weather stations across the metro area is upper 60s and low 70s. So again, a pretty warm start to our Monday, but overall things are pretty pleasant as we start the day today. Again, a few clouds out there, but again, plenty of sunshine as we start our Monday. Already up to 77 degrees at the airport, just a few minutes past 9 o'clock. 75 here in Midtown Lincoln. Again, dew points are in the mid to upper 60s, so again, it's been on the muggy side out there, and will continue to be as we head through the day today and really throughout the remainder of the week. If you look at current temperatures, again, those numbers generally in the mid to upper 70s across the Lincoln metro and across the state. Coolest readings are in the west, where they're still in the upper 60s to low 70s, but most of the 1011 coverage area already has readings into the 70s early this morning. Those dew point numbers, again, for most areas, again, are into the mid and upper 60s, so again, it is on the humid side out there. Again, plenty of moisture out there for fuel for thunderstorms as we head later today into tonight and then into the day tomorrow as well. Winds aren't too bad, generally out of the south, southwest at around 5 to 15 miles an hour, and overall, again, shouldn't be too bad as we head through the day today. Probably high end for us here in eastern Nebraska is up to around 20 miles an hour, maybe some gusts up to 30 miles an hour for parts of central and western Nebraska through the day today. Satellite and radar picture again to start the day. Pretty quiet, but again, we're expecting the radar to turn a little bit busier as we head into this afternoon and certainly into this evening. If you zoom out, look at a regional view, again, there's been some ongoing thunderstorms across parts of the Dakotas. That activity is kind of weakening and fizzling out as it continues to push to the east. If you look at a national view, overall right now, things generally quiet for most areas. If you look at the weather alerts, there's some flood watches across parts of the Carolinas into West Virginia, also across parts of Kentucky into far southeastern Missouri. Have some heat alerts, some fire alerts across parts of the desert west, southwest, but overall, again, right now, things generally quiet for us here in Nebraska. But again, I would expect us to likely see another severe thunderstorm watch issued for parts of the state as we head into this afternoon and certainly into this evening. So if we check out Skycast and try and kind of time things out a little bit, I will say our in-house model here I think maybe is kind of a little bit of an outlier. Waiting to see if we can get a new run on our in-house model here. I'll show you a different model here in just a moment, but just starting with the regional view, looking at it as we head through the morning and into early this afternoon, things overall pretty quiet. But as we head towards the late afternoon, we're going to start to see thunderstorms begin to develop along that boundary again, kind of across north central into southwestern Nebraska, into northeastern Colorado, as we're expecting that boundary to kind of lie. So again, you can see for Lincoln and eastern Nebraska, things pretty quiet again, basically through this morning, and then into late this afternoon. So you head past 5 o'clock, between 5 and 10 o'clock. Most of the activity, according to our in-house model, kind of stays across north central into south central into southwestern Nebraska, seeing that linear system eventually develop like I had talked about earlier. So again, initially as those storms were more discrete, could see potentially some very large hail, as long as some damaging wind gusts up to 70 to 75 miles an hour. That transitions more to damaging wind threat and heavy rain threat as we head late tonight and then into the overnight hours. But by 10 o'clock tonight, again, you can still see a lot of the activity still west of the area for us here at Lincoln in southeastern Nebraska. I think our chances for moisture and for rain and thunderstorms will be going up, though, as we head late tonight and into the overnight hours. And you can see our in-house model here. It really dives that activity down to the south pretty quickly and doesn't even push it really through the area. And again, like I said, I think this model, our in-house model, is the outlier. We'll show you a different model here in just a moment. But then as we head into the day tomorrow, a lot of our thunderstorms and the threat for severe weather tomorrow is going to depend on kind of what transpires today. Again, going to be a lot of kind of boundaries left over in the area, so we're going to watch what happens today to kind of figure out what happens as we head into the day tomorrow. So then into the day on Tuesday, again, it's going to be cooler on the other side of that boundary. But then that boundary is still going to be kind of in the area, and we're expecting to see more activity develop across the high plains in the far west, as well as some additional activity develop along that boundary across parts of northern Kansas that's going to try and lift to the north. Eventually, that activity from the west is just going to sweep across the state and kind of push everything out of the area. So you see by 5 o'clock, big cluster of storms across parts of the Sandhills. That activity continues to kind of dive to the east and to the southeast, and then, at least according to our in-house model here in Lincoln and southeastern Nebraska, again, we really don't see anything until late Tuesday night and then into the overnight hours, and then we see that activity linger as we head then into Wednesday morning. With Wednesday afternoon, we finally kind of see things dry out and kind of calm down for us a little bit. I think, again, our in-house model, though, is not quite showing the full picture here, so we'll look at another model in just a moment. But if you look at the precip potential over the next several days, again, you can see, especially for eastern and southeastern Nebraska, there is going to be the threat for some heavy rain over the next several days, potentially a couple inches of moisture. And again, if we do see some thunderstorms that train over the same areas over the next 36 to 48 hours, I think we could see some spots that end up with 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rain over the next several days. Overall, though, kind of broad brush strokes here across much of the state. Could see 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches across much of central and western Nebraska, and then maybe 1.5 to 2.5 inches for parts of eastern and southeastern Nebraska down into parts of northeastern Kansas. Past today, if you look at the next week, really not looking at much in the way of any additional moisture on top of that. Again, as I mentioned, kind of at the top, things really begin to dry out as we head towards the second half of this week and into the upcoming weekend for us. So the severe weather threat for the day today, this was updated with the 7 a.m. Update. Again, have that slight risk that covers almost the entire state, save for southeastern parts of Nebraska, but an enhanced risk for severe weather. Again, 3 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale. Expanding across parts of central and western Nebraska. So again, covers again, obviously areas like North Platte, Broken Bow, much of the Sandhills, into parts of the Panhandle, but then pushing kind of towards the Tri-Cities area as well. If we zoom in and take a look at a statewide view, you can see that enhanced risk extends over towards kind of the Albion, Ord areas, and then again, near Grand Island, encompassing Kearney, Lexington, Imperial, and down into parts of southwestern Nebraska as well. So again, expecting that activity to be most robust and intense, again, in those areas. As storms then move eastward through this evening and overnight tonight, they are expected to weaken some. So again, that's why that enhanced risk ends. That slight risk extends into parts of eastern and southeastern Nebraska. So threat for tornadoes is fairly low, but it's not zero. And again, it's mainly the northern tier of the state that we at least have that low-end threat for maybe a tornado or two. Again, the best chance for that would be as storms initially develop and as they're fairly discrete. before they develop into that sort of linear complex that we're expecting to kind of move across the state. Threat for severe wind, again, is going to be highest across central and western parts of the state. But again, here in Lincoln, if we do see any severe thunderstorms, wind would be one of our primary threats to go along with a threat for some heavy rain. Large hail, again, as storms initially kind of develop along that boundary in northern Nebraska, that's when we're expecting those storms to have the best potential for some large hail, potentially up to 1.5 inches, 2 plus inches in diameter. And again, that's mainly across the northern tier of the state. Into the day tomorrow, as I mentioned, the severe threat tomorrow kind of conditional on what happens today. But again, we have marginal and slight risk across much of the state into the day on your Tuesday. Excuse me, and that enhanced risk, again, for areas down to our south across parts of Kansas. But again, I think this could change depending on what happens today. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, got a frog in my throat there. And then into the day on Wednesday, severe threat is expected to be off to our east and to our southeast and out of our coverage area. So if we zoom in, and we're going to be looking at the graph model first here, our in-house model. I'm still waiting to see if we can get that new run in. And I'm actually going to try and see if I can't force it to take the new run here. Aha, okay. We'll see how much we get. It may not be all the way in yet. Get it loaded back up here. Okay, so again, through the morning into the afternoon, we're not expecting much. Again, we'll see some cloud cover, but generally dry conditions this morning and this afternoon. And then, again, we can already see this is a little different than the last run. Along that boundary, again, kind of stretching from northeast Nebraska back towards southwest Nebraska, we're going to start to see some of those thunderstorms begin to develop. Again, initially, as these storms develop, as I mentioned, that's when we'll see the best threat for potentially some hail, large hailstones mixed in. But as this system becomes a little bit more linear, again, that's when we'd see that threat transition to more of a wind threat. So again, you can see this run quite a bit different, again, bringing that line at least kind of through parts of eastern Nebraska and into southeastern Nebraska around 8, 9, 10 o'clock maybe this evening. But again, it does have the best mechanisms for thunderstorms, again, out to our west. So again, it looks like it does kind of peter out some of our thunderstorm activity for eastern Nebraska, even by late tonight. Keeps that activity going across parts of western, southwestern Nebraska, and down across parts of northern Kansas. And then as you head overnight tonight, again, our in-house model here keeps things mainly dry into the day tomorrow, watching for that activity to develop, again, in the high plains off to the west. We'll also watch for additional activity to develop along that boundary across parts of northern Kansas, and then that activity out in the west just kind of sweeps through the state, sweeping into the Lincoln area and into parts of eastern Nebraska by, again, around 8, 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, and then keeping it at least in our neck of the woods through the overnight hours and then into Wednesday morning. But you can see that run quite a bit different than the last run we had. So again, model's not doing a terribly great job right now with the convective potential that we have for today. I want to show you, though, the rapid refresh model. I think it has a little bit better picture of what could happen tonight, which again, through the day today, balance of the day is generally going to be dry, but as we head towards late afternoon this evening, we'll watch for those thunderstorms to begin to develop across northern parts of the state. Again, then the activity in the west will begin to kind of get going, so you can see by 10 o'clock tonight, still not expecting anything for Lincoln or southeastern Nebraska. Again, I still think the best chance for us is going to be late tonight into the overnight hours, and again, probably past 10 o'clock tonight is when we'd see the best chance for rain here in Lincoln. But what the rapid refresh model does is basically takes that system and then pushes it from west to east across the state as we head through the overnight hours. Again, as it moves eastward, especially late tonight through the overnight hours, it is expected to weaken some, but we still could see, again, some strong wind gusts. We could see some areas of very heavy rain, some flooding and flash flooding, certainly not out of the realm of possibility, and we could see some small hail mixed in there as well. So again, that rapid refresh model pushes that activity through Lincoln and southeastern Nebraska as we head through the overnight hours, potentially giving us some moisture as we start the day Tuesday, and then we kind of do it all again as we head into the day Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Storms developing across the high plains in the west, storms developing along that frontal boundary, which kind of gets shunted down to the south across parts of northern Kansas. The stuff in Kansas tries to lift northward into the area. The stuff out west basically races west across the state as we head through the evening hours. So again, this is as late as we can go on this model, as late tomorrow night. But again, you can see more activity moving into the Lincoln area late Tuesday evening. So again, a couple rounds of strong to severe storms going to be possible for us over the next several days. Again, today, the best chance is going to be central and western Nebraska, and then in Lincoln and eastern and southeastern Nebraska, the threat for storms really doesn't ramp up until we head late tonight into the overnight hours. And then for the day tomorrow, again, we'll watch what happens today, but then again, it kind of looks like maybe late tomorrow would be the best chance for storms for us again here in Lincoln and southeastern Nebraska. All the meanwhile, today it's going to be another hot and humid day for us. So if you look at temperatures for the day today, we're looking at low to mid 90s across much of the 10-11 coverage area, just a touch cooler, only into the 80s for far western Nebraska and out into the Panhandle. Low temperatures tonight, upper 50s to upper 60s, and then cooler tomorrow as that boundary again kind of gets shunted down to our south. Temperatures low 70s to low 80s for the day tomorrow on your Tuesday. Still going to be a bit on the humid side. We'll go 82 in Lincoln, 81 for Grand Island and Hastings, mid-70s in North Platte. Wednesday morning, again, low 50s to low to mid-60s for lows, and then a little bit cooler for the day on Wednesday again, but again, a little bit closer to where we should be as opposed to the mid-90s. We'll say low to mid-80s across the state for the day on Wednesday. Thursday morning, we're back to the upper 50s, low to mid-60s, and then Thursday and into the rest of the week, it gets hot again. We'll see temperatures into the low to mid-90s across much of the state for the day on Thursday. Into Friday morning, it's upper 60s, low 70s for most areas to start the day. And then Friday, we're looking at upper 90s and even triple-digit heat possible across much of the state. Warmest or hottest readings look like it would be in the southwestern corner of the state, where they could see temperatures between 100 and 103 or so degrees or so. Here in Lincoln, we'll say 97 for the day on Friday, 99 for Grand Island and Hastings, 100 in Kearney, 103 for Ogallala, Imperial, and McCook. So very hot as we head late this week, and then that heat would continue as we head into the weekend. Again, 96 on Saturday, 94 on Sunday, and again, you can see dry for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Best chances for rain will come over the next 3 days. Again, that's not going to be all the time during the next 3 days. Kind of like I said, I think through most of the day today, it's generally dry. It's not until late this evening into the overnight hours that we see that chance for thunderstorms here in Lincoln. And again, on Tuesday, could see some rain in the morning, and then again late Tuesday evening, and potentially lingering into Wednesday morning. So again, don't be surprised. Again, we have those rain chances the next 3 days, but again, certainly not going to rain all the time over the next 3 days. And it could be, early in the day and then again late in the day. So late Monday into early Tuesday, late Tuesday into early Wednesday before things dry out. If you look at the 10-day forecast for select cities across the state, you can see the little mini heat wave there late this week and into the weekend. Temperatures today will be warm, but then Tuesday, Wednesday don't look too bad. But then again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it gets pretty hot before things look like they cool off a little bit through the week next week. But again, that has time to change. If you look at the dew points, again, they look like they'll be pretty sticky at times for us over the course of the next week to 10 days. Heat index values, again, I forgot to turn that off. Take that with a grain of salt there if you saw those numbers. Precip chances, again, look like they'll be highest, again, tonight into the day tomorrow, and then Tuesday night into Wednesday, but generally dry Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday before those cooler weather conditions, cooler temperatures, and those rain chances begin to tick back up into the week next week for us. So if you look at the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, generally favors above average temperatures for parts of southern and eastern Nebraska. The rest of the state kind of equal chances. This is June 23rd through June 29th. And then for the entire state, much of the region favoring above average precipitation during that time frame for us as well. So again, that is obviously something we'll keep an eye on. As again, we started out the month with some good moisture, a little more than an inch of moisture through the first 7 days or so the month here in Lincoln, but again, already now more than an inch below normal for our rainfall for June, and again, almost 6 inches below normal for our rainfall year to date. But again, a couple chances for thunderstorms to hopefully add some moisture into the bucket over the next couple days. Again, in Lincoln, that chance wouldn't be until late tonight, late this evening into the overnight hours. And then again on Tuesday, likely later, late afternoon into the evening into the overnight hours, Tuesday into Wednesday for us as well. So make sure you check back with the forecast. Again, kind of a complicated setup. Again, a lot of boundaries that we're going to kind of kind of trying to keep our eyes on. So don't let this be the last time you check back on the forecast. Check out 1011 Weather app again. Good thing to have on days like today, where we can try and update you multiple times throughout the day, kind of as things change and as the models change and as we get new data. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching as always. So again, keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all the latest forecast details. Otherwise, hope everyone stays cool out there. It's going to be another hot day for us with temperatures well into the 90s. Until we see you next time, hope everyone has a nice Monday.